Yeah, all right. Let us begin. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for joining us in this spirit of perfect harmony. We are the Center for Spiritual Living, West Georgia. We study, practice the philosophy and science of the mind we know as God. And with our spiritual presence and our participation in our service here this morning, we create a higher state of consciousness, rise above all the negative energy that may have prevailed this past week, and manifest love. We know love is synonymous to God. Our master teacher, Reverend Dr. Sandra Jackson, is present and will now proceed with our service. Reverend?
Well, good morning, everybody. It's good to see you all. And thank you, Mike, for getting us started. So, from East Coast to West Coast and everywhere in between, oops, and around the world, welcome, everybody. It is so good to see you all. I'm glad to see you all made it to service this morning. That means you are present in thought, in word, and in action, and in body. And it's so good to know that you have gotten here healthy, whole, and complete. So let us begin as we always do by simply taking a deep breath, bringing ourselves into the present moment, and recognizing that right here, right now, where we are, God is. And just feel the peace where you are. Just know that wherever you are right now, you are safe, that in this now moment, you have no need, or all your needs are met. And the biggest need you have in this moment, if you were to have a need, would be to breathe, because it's that breath that aligns you with life itself. That when you allow your thoughts to think, reminds you that you are who you are, and that you are spirit, and it is expressing in and through and as you this day in this very moment. So we simply step into this truth right now. And as we step into it, we recognize it and realize it and know it for ourselves at an even deeper level than has ever been known before. There's a light bulb that goes off in our mind that says, I am this. I am that which God is. This day, God has seen fit to express itself in me. In me, it is expressing itself. And it is full and complete and whole. And there is absolutely nothing that is being left out or eliminated from who and what I am. I am empowered in this moment to be all that I can possibly be. My mind is exploding with wisdom and creativity and intelligence and joy and happiness and abundance and peace. And I am feeling it and knowing it in every fiber of my being. And so it is in this that I am centered. It is in this awareness that I come today to join in this consciousness for each and every one of us in our community, so that all of us may have this awareness, not just for this moment, but for all times. And so it is with gratitude that we begin this service today in this awareness of our own love, kindness, beauty, wisdom, creativity, intelligence, and so much joy that we can hardly contain it. And so we do serve today one another by our realization of who and what we are. And so gratefully we release and we let go of this, knowing that it is already done. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
Our vision and mission statement: CSL West Georgia is a joyful global community where everyone belongs. Through our unique spiritual teachings, we provide a safe environment to experience compassionate living. Declarations of principles. I believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. There is one life of which I am a part, one intelligence which I use, one substance which takes form as my life. And so it is.
Thank you, Dorothea. And now it is time for Jennifer. Let us all welcome Jennifer this morning. Yay!
Good morning. Well, I know you guys have been scurrying around and being so productive, getting into your new space. And sometimes we don't feel like the timing is right how we want it to be. But in the long run, it all ends up, you see it in the long run. It's like, oh, of course it had to be like this. So, in the spirit of you guys holding your vision that you choose right here and right now for your new space, this song is called I Am Open, God Willing. I hold a vision of the life I choose today, and then patiently I wait. So much good's already coming to me now, as I consciously awake. And oh, I am open, God willing. Oh, I am open, God willing. Well, I am trusting Father time along the way, even when I miss my mark. And I'm learning there are really no mistakes, only brilliant works of heart. And oh, I am open, God willing. Oh, I am open, God willing. And oh, let the past all fade away. And every day I'm unfolding to the joy that I've created with the one who has created me. I see my path so clearly right in front of me, and I will follow where it goes. As in a vision comes, I'll let it carry me, as I surrender to the flow. And oh, I am open, God willing. Oh, I am open, God willing. Oh, I'm open, God willing.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, that means we have to work with the spirit within us, right? Okay, sometimes we work against it. And our reading is done this morning by Sandy.
Morning, everyone. What a gorgeous day. I mean, at last, fall has arrived in Georgia, and we are very grateful. The reading for today is from The Power of Decision by Dr. Raymond Charles Barker. It's called Redefine Yourself. The psalmist wrote, "Thou openest thine hand and satisfiest the desire of every living thing." It's Psalms 145:16. This is a divine givingness in which we are forever immersed. This is why the kingdom of heaven is on earth right now and can be experienced now. The infinite mind, being infinite, could not create a limited creation. You are the unlimited creation of an unlimited source that is forever giving to you. Its unlimited ideas, possibilities, and potentialities. Its nature is to release itself in you as you. It cannot withhold its ideas. By its very nature, it must express itself through man. The infinite is a divine extravagance. It is forever giving itself away. God knows no thrift. The infinite does not need to be thrifty, for it is an inexhaustible mind, an inexhaustible substance. It does not need to conserve, pinch, limit, or budget. It is I've got to find my place again. The infinite does not need to be thrifty, for it is an inexhaustible mind, an inexhaustible substance. It does not need to conserve, pinch, limit, or budget. It throws itself away, for it knows that only through expression can the abundant life be lived. Expression is release, and the infinite mind is forever throwing itself away, releasing itself. In order for it to have total self-expression, it has to be a total givingness. This is the divine magnificence. You are a part of this creative process of the infinite throwing itself away. You are the receiver of the infinite bounty. To you are given the total ideas of the universe. They are given to you in order that you too shall express them by throwing them into your subconscious with deliberate intent, and thus keeping your world fresh, new, and different. All of life wants you to live fully. All the love there is wants you to love fully. All the wisdom there is wants you to know yourself aright and fully use your capacities. You have everything going rightly on your side when you understand this science and use its principles.
Thank you, Sandy. Wow. Did you get that? Yeah. There's no limit. You know, we live in a world that has manifested a lot of limitations. You know, you look at your bank account and you say, there's a limit. I can spend so much. You know, you wake up in the morning, you feel like I only have 24 hours in the day, right? You know, you look at your friends and you go like, I have only these number of friends, you know, and we start to feel like, you know, there's only so much abundance to go around, so much love to go around, so much joy to go around. And we start, you know, from looking at things in the world, we start thinking this, you know, I have to live within these constraints. And Raymond Charles Barker is saying, no, you have access to something that is unlimited. And the access that you get is not outside of you, but it's within you. You have to find it within yourself. So I want to start today with, I want to tell you a story about it. I want to tell you a story about a child. And two teenagers had a baby. They were still in high school. And so, of course, you know, their parents were like, you know, you can't take care of this child. And they said, you know, we love the child, but we can't take care of it. And so they gave the child up for adoption. You know, it's a age-old story, right? So these two young people, they gave up the child, and the child went to a family who was very happy to have the child because they couldn't have children, and they loved the child so very much. But then as the child grew, they found out the child had heart problems. And, you know, a child who is sick and is creates a lot of medical bills. And this family, they weren't poor, but they weren't rich either. And so they had a lot of doctor bills, they had a lot of stress. And in long story short, they got divorced because the stress of dealing with this child was just entirely too much for the two of them. They obviously didn't know how to find the inner self that gave them the strength to deal with these issues. Anyway, that's a little side message. Anyway, so anyway, the child, what do children do? They blame themselves, right? And so this child blamed themselves for the parents' divorce, and they grew up continuing to be sickly, but unhappy with a lot of self-blame. And so when they were old enough, they decided, they knew they were adopted. So when they were old enough, they decided to go look for their birth mother. And guess what? They found the birth mother. But at the same time, they also found the birth father too. Found out that they were married, they had several other children, and the children all knew about, because the parents had said, you know what, we had this child when we were teenagers and we had to give the child up. And so the child, they always celebrated the child's birthday, and they loved the child, and they encouraged the other children to love the child, even though it was absent from their life. And so when this child came to them as an adult, guess what? They embraced them, the child, and they welcomed her, him. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Anyway, they welcomed the child into the family. The child had been loved all along. Think about that. The child had been loved all along, even with all the stress and all the difficulties and all the sickness and everything that they dealt with in their life. They still were dealing with the sickness, right? But here was a family who said, you know what, we welcome you. We want you to be a part of our family. That is your story, in case you hadn't recognized it. It is each one of our stories. Stop and think about when Jesus called the disciples, right? I mean, Jesus has told the story. The prophets, from gurus and saints from all times have told the story, okay? Think about the disciples. They were leading ordinary lives. And then Jesus comes along and says, you're not ordinary, you're special. Know you not that ye are gods? He said that. You're gods. And not only you, but everybody else here is too. The kingdom of heaven is within you. You don't have to go out looking for it. You have the power, the energy, all the goodness, the abundance, the love, the intelligence, anything and everything is already within you. And they went like, no, I don't believe that. What would happen if today somebody came, knocked on your door and said, you know what? You are royalty, and we just want to take you back to where you belong. We want to take you back to your kingdom and put you on the throne and give you everything. Yes, Connie's going, yes. Wouldn't that be wonderful? But you know what? Guess what? This child had hard times accepting that. They still had all these memories in their past of breaking up this family. They had these memories of being sick and being in the hospital and doctors and nurses and all this stuff. They still had all of that. And so even though they now were loved and embraced and accepted with their illness, with this family, they still had a hard time. And we have a hard time. The disciples had a hard time. They didn't believe Jesus. They tested him and questioned him repeatedly. Even when he goes to Gethsemane, they're still questioning him. Is he who he is? And are we who you say we are? But let's put this in a little bit different context. We all have parents, right? We all have a mother, we all have a father. And they have given us our DNA. Maybe we have children we've given DNA to. But anyway, we've gotten our DNA from our parents, right? And so therefore, Connie doesn't look like Marty. Well, Marty and Barb look like, because they're twins, but we're going to put that aside for a moment. Okay, but we don't look like each other. We look like who? Our parents. And I'm willing to bet those twins look like their parents too. Okay, because we are descendants of these people, and so we look like the people we are descended from, right? We don't look like our friends. We don't look like, we may look like other relatives, but we don't look like people who we are not related to, right? Jesus is saying that God is the Father and God's DNA is in us. Think about that. He always called God Father. He said Father, Father, Father all the time. Why? Because in those days, Father was a good thing. What did Father do? Father took care of you. Father was there for you. Father gave you his DNA. Okay? So the spirit of life, God has given you its DNA right now, just like your father, your physical father, your physical mother. They have given you their DNA and God has given you its DNA. And evidence of that, Jesus says, is that the kingdom of heaven is within you, that you have the power within you to, and you breathe every day in every moment, and that is the evidence of God being in you and giving you its power, its DNA. Stop and think about that. If you grew up with parents and you knew you were adopted and you found your real parents, what if that your real parent was God the Father and that you were divine royalty? Think about that. There is nothing that you could not do. Your power would not be from the outside. Your power would come from the inside, but it's invisible. I don't know if you've ever watched it, but PBS has a program with Henry Louis Gates, and he goes around, with celebrities, tracing their DNA through their families and, finding out who they came from. And so many of them start out with, I don't know anything about my family. My mother said this, maybe they know something about their grandparents or their great grandparents, but basically they don't know too much about their history. And he takes them back through what they can find in census reports and other records and whatever. And then he does the DNA, and sometimes they go back centuries. They always come away being impacted by what they learned about their history. Their life is never the same. And they're like, I can't wait to tell my mother. I can't wait to tell my father if they're still alive. I just, this is going to impact my children. I mean, stop and think about that. They learn, and maybe you have learned too, about your physical parents and your physical history and the physical DNA that has sent you back through the centuries. Back to people noticing, it's like, well, now I know where I get this talent from, or why I've been interested in this. It's like in my DNA. But yet, when someone says to you, you have God's DNA, you go, oh no. Hello? Okay, did I check y'all? We go like, God's DNA? Huh? What? Me? No, I don't have that. I don't have the power to do this. I can't do that. This, that, and another. I am bound in the world. I am like that child who grew up with these parents who were divorced because they had so much difficulty, and the child blamed themselves. And it's like, we walked through the world going like, oh no, well, God doesn't want me. Why would God want me? I'm all messed up. I'm limited. I don't have this power. I don't have this energy. I can't. without putting the I, put the am after the I. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am healed. I am whole. I am good. I am prosperous, abundant, joyful, happy, whatever. Put when the minute you say I am, put something good after that, because that is what's connecting you with the I am that is spirit in you. That's your God's DNA. Every time you say I am, you're saying I am connected with spirit. Who else are you connected with when you say I am? Tell me. You don't connect with me when you say I am. When I say I am, I don't connect with Marcia. Okay? I can't say I am Marcia. I can't say I am Connie. I can't be I am Ajika. But I can be I am good. I am peaceful. I am joy. I am love. I am abundant. I am prosperous. I can say all that, and it can be, it is true. Do you see? So when we say I am, we are identifying ourselves with God's DNA. But we don't want to be the little child who is stuck in the past, that is stuck feeling like I destroyed all of this life. But those are our failures. Those are our missteps and our mistakes. There are difficulties. Some churches call it sin. In the science of mind, we don't call it sin. We call it mistakes. Because that's what they are. They are mistakes. We have taken the wrong road. And so therefore it is a mistake. But the world is filled with challenges. And so we are always having to remember who we are. We have to wake up in the morning giving thanks and being grateful that we woke up. And then we have to begin remembering who we are, because the world will keep throwing challenges at us. It will throw failures in business at us. It will throw us getting fired or laid off from our jobs. It will throw illnesses at us. It will throw accidents at us of all kinds. We will find ourselves without water in the whole neighborhood, like Achika this morning. That's a challenge. Okay? So how do we deal with it? We are always facing challenges in the world. We have to learn to deal with them from a spiritual perspective and not from the worldly perspective. Do you get this? Right now, we're dealing with masking or not masking. We're dealing with the virus and whether to take a booster, whether to take the shot at all, whether to deal with what kinds of political things we want to deal with, what kind of things we want to deal with in our community. Some of us are trying to decide, do we want to contribute to, our community and the beauty and the new space that we have. We're making all these decisions. We're looking at our bank book and saying, well, I have this much, I don't have that much. We're looking at our friends and we're saying, I don't want to be friends with you because you're this, this, and this, and I'm trying to do this, this, and this. We've got all these things going on in the world around us. And we have to remember to say, I am capable of doing all of this because I am power. The kingdom of God is within me. The kingdom is within me. Ernest Holmes says, there is a divine urge within everyone including you, because you are part of everyone. There is a divine urge in everyone to know more and to express more. That was what Barker was saying this morning, that we want to express. There's that urge in us. Don't you wake up in the morning and go like, gee, I want to do something special. I want to do something different. Isn't there that feeling of, I want to be great? And yet, the thing is we're all great. We all have the capacity to be great, but we can't be great as Beyonce is great. She has her own kind of greatness. We can't be great, like whoever else, Jay-Z or some actress or whatever. We can't be great like somebody else. We are great for ourselves because we are to do what? Bloom where we are planted. Okay, I could look and go like, well, I could be T.G. Jakes. No, I can't. Because if I was him, then he wouldn't be him. Do you see? We have to be our own greatness. And God has given us the power to do exactly that. So when we are challenged in our life with failures, with mistakes, with illnesses, with death and grief, with pain of all kinds, emotional, physical, doesn't matter. We have to learn to turn to the Spirit within us for the power, for the wisdom, for the creativity, for the intelligence. And guess what happens when we do that? What we have need of shows up in the world. Because how does God give to us? God gives to us through our vehicles in the world. Now, the thing is that you may pray for $1 million. The way that $1 million is going to come to you is not going to be from a parachute jumping, coming down out of the sky and plopping down on your front lawn. However, it may come through ideas for you to go into a business that nets you then that $1 million. Do you understand? Because God works through the world. But you don't look at the world and go like, oh, the $1 million came from that business. No, the $1 million came from God and the vehicle was the business. Do you get it? Shake your head yes if you do. I don't know, when you sit there and you just sit there and stare at me, it's not like being in the same room with you. Okay, when I'm in the room with you, I can feel your energy and I can feel you going like, yeah, I get it. And then I can see you going like, I don't know. But when you're in these little squares, okay, you're looking at squares too. And when you're in these little squares, then I'm seeing you go like, and I don't know, like, what's happening? And then, of course, there are those of you who are frozen and you don't do anything at all. Okay, all right. So, and then there are those of you who are you got names, but you have no faces. You're just a little black box with white letters. And then, of course, there's that picture of myself. Okay. So, if you laugh or jump up and down or do something, act, then I go like, yeah, okay. So, that's the world. Okay, right now, the world is saying you have to do this through a little box. But guess what? We couldn't have done this 20 years ago. Think about it. We could not have done this 20 years ago. If we had this virus 20 years ago, we would have had to stay home. We would have not been able to come to church at all. We would not have had the things that we have to do to communicate today. So here's the thing. God, through somebody a long time ago, got this big idea. This big idea for computer. I saw a movie one time, and the guy was in World War II. They were figuring out how to do computers, and maybe before. So they had all these ideas, and then somebody got this idea for the internet, and they called it the World Wide Web. Why? Because we're all linked together. And you know what? The thing is now we have a disease that's saying you're all linked together. And it's just like progression, right? We have to start to realize who we are individually And then we look out and see that if this is true about me, it is also true about you. So each one of us is having our own experience of I am and the DNA of spirit moving in through and as you. It's not going to be the same in me as it is in Marty or Mark or Mike. They're going to express it differently. Dorothea is her own person. Do you see? Each one of us is expressing that divinity for ourselves. Now, I know some of us, I know Cynthia mentioned her husband this morning, and I know Marty's getting ready to have surgery. Keep something in mind. When we pray for people, we don't pray for them. We pray in our own mind to realize the truth about them. So the truth about Marty is she is already whole, perfect, and complete. There is no difficulty or problem in her body because the divine pattern for her body is already set in consciousness, in an awareness, and in the mind of God. And God does not know anything about sickness. It knows nothing about heart disease or cancer or needing hip replacements or knee replacements or heart replacements or anything, because God has a divine pattern of wholeness. If it did not, we could not become it. If there was not that intelligence that those people who developed all the technology that we use today, if they were not able to draw from a universal intelligence, we would not have it. You know, years ago, somebody did a study, and that what they found is that God has intelligence for everybody. We all get to access it, but we access it at the point of our understanding. We access it at the point of our understanding. I don't know how to read music. Okay, maybe Cynthia and Jennifer do. I don't know if they do or not, because all musicians don't necessarily read music, but let's say they do. They have access that intelligence in God that I have not accessed. So I take advantage of their access by having them come and sing for us, and Connie too. Okay, but at the same time, I'm not trying to do that. Why should I try to do that? Because guess what? I'm the best speaker of all of you guys. That's my talent. That's my creativity. I grew up people telling me, you talk too much. So guess what I did? I turned it into a profession. Now I talk and talk and talk and talk, and nobody says you talk too much. Right? I mean, okay. See, we all have something that's ours. It's ours, and it's not somebody else. So we can be great where we are. But if I try to be great as a musician, then guess what? I'm going to fail miserably. So sometimes we're failing not at what we're failing because we're doing something we're not supposed to be doing. It's not ours to do. Okay? I can't go to the music studio and start singing. Well, I could, but it wouldn't be so great. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay? And so therefore, people would go like, wow, that's awful. I'm not buying that music. Why should they? Because I haven't practiced. I haven't studied. It's not my talent. Okay? It's not my skill. But you know what? We all have ours. We have to find our own. And if we stay in our lane, guess what? We get to be great. We get to succeed. We get to make decisions that are right for us. But if we're busy out there doing something for somebody else's, because, your parents said it would be really good if you followed in your dad's footsteps and opened up this store or became a doctor or a lawyer or whatever else. Maybe that's not your calling. And one of the hardest things that people do is to go against their parents or what their parents wanted for them. But think about it this way. My parent is spirit, and it has a higher calling than my parents. It has given me something to do that my parents don't even know about. You see? So it's our choice. There is a divine urge within you, and it knows who you are, and it wants to express. But you have to decide, like Barker said, you have to decide to express it. And guess what? Ernest Holmes continues to say, I have found that the thing we are searching for is the thing we are searching with. So that divinity within you is seeking itself. It is trying to say, I am whatever it is that you're trying to say. So today, take a moment and ask yourself, what is it that I truly want? What would truly make me happy? What has been calling to me and I've been ignoring it? I'm willing to bet there's something. So let's take this thought and turn it into a prayer, into spiritual mind treatment. Remembering that right here, right now, right where we are already whole, perfect, and complete. That there is a divine pattern of wholeness from which each one of us has been expressed into this world. And that divine pattern of wholeness continues to this day, even though we get to make choices about the possibilities as to how it expresses itself in the world. It is not telling us who we are telling it how we want to go. And it is giving us the power, the wisdom, the intelligence, and everything we have need of so that we may do what it is that we are here to do, be who it is we want to be, love who we are loving, being joyful and happy, and being all that we can possibly be. It will give us all that is needed and necessary if we will just ask, if we will just simply turn within and know it is the truth of who and what we are. And as we do, we rise up into a new consciousness, a new awareness, and we let go of that which is the past, that which is not ours, and we align ourselves with who we truly are. Because we have God's DNA in us. God's DNA in us. And so therefore, whatever God is, we are. And we just simply say it every time we affirm, I am. So for those of us who are needing a healing, we just simply say, I am whole. For those of us who are desiring of prosperity, we just simply say, I am abundance. For those of us who are worried and stressed, we just simply say, I am peace. And for all of us, we say, I am love. And as we affirm ourselves and know ourselves to be that love, to be that peace, to be whatever it is we choose to be, we know that all of spirit, all of God within us rises up and supports us as it pushes us forward into the world, doing that which we need to do, and be who we need to be. And it draws to us all those experiences that allow us to align with and experience that which we have chosen to be. And so I am knowing this is the truth that is unfolding in, through, and as each one of us today. I am knowing that each one of us is healed and whole. Those of us who know that we have an illness, and those of us who, you know what, there's a fear within us. That fear is now gone. That fear that we might have this, we might get that. That fear is now gone, because there is no fear in God. There is only the knowingness of wholeness. There is only the the knowingness of intelligence and of how to rid ourselves of anything and everything that gets in the way of our experiencing the very fullness of life that is ours to live. And so we rejoice this day and we are so completely grateful knowing that this is the truth that is unfolding in us and through us and as us. And so we see ourselves as well as our loved ones in this light of joy, of love, of peace, of wisdom, of creativity, and knowing that they too are living from God's DNA. And so with gratitude, I release this word now, knowing it is done, and knowing that we are all in peace and relaxed and at ease, knowing it is done in us, through us, and as us, right here and right now. And so it is. Amen.
So
Okay,
here's a song that's kind of got a Lou Reed feel, and it's called Gotta Get My Good. And it has a lot to do with what Reverend Sandra had to say today. Gotta make some room, 'cause I know it's coming soon. I gotta get my good. Now's the perfect time, oh, to seek and then to find. Gotta get my good. And like the sun flows east to west, every day I'm expecting the best. I gotta get my good. Oh, gotta get my good. Well, life is full of dreams and possibilities. I gotta get my good. Well, now wishing ain't a crime, oh, but actions make it mine. I gotta get my good. And like the sun flows east to west, every single day I'm expecting the best. I gotta get my good. Oh, yeah, I gotta get my good. Reach up, aim high, 'cause you know it's time to testify. Hallelujah, come and claim it, y'all. You know we have it all. Well, time to get our good. Oh, yeah, we gotta get our good. It's already inside, gotta see, gotta get our good. Ooh, yeah, it's time to get our good.
And that good is when? Now. Okay? It can't be tomorrow. It has to be now. Yep. Okay, Dorothea.
This is the time we come to our service where we have our conscious giving. Yes. There are 3 ways to give. Whoa. That didn't go well. As you can see on the screen, we can give through PayPal. We can give through Amazon Smile. And Amazon Smile is a charity organization that Amazon has, and CSL West Georgia is a part of that charity. And when you do your daily regular shopping, Amazon graciously gives a piece back to us, and it doesn't interfere with anything you're doing. You have no idea. You're just shopping, and you're using the link in the description box every time you shop with Amazon. And last but not least, you can mail in your check. It's just that simple. The link is in the description box as well on the screen. There is the address. So PayPal, Amazon Smile, and you can mail it in. Giving affirmation. I am grateful for the divine giveness circulating abundantly through my life, my community, and my world. And so it is.
So it is. Yes. Okay, thank you, Dorothea. So let me tell you about Prosperity Plus 3. So in Prosperity Plus 3, you're going to be living full spectrum wealth. And so you're going to get a little journal like this. You're going to get a workbook that is in a case, okay, along with some CDs for you to learn from and to keep as part of your library. And we're going to be working with this book. It's called Working with the Law by Raymond Hollowell. And he has laws that you probably haven't even heard of, like the law of increase, the law of receiving, the law of attraction. Well, you've heard of that probably, the law of compensation, the law of supply. And so we're going to go through all the various laws for your full spectrum wealth. So full spectrum wealth is not just about money. It's about health. It's about relationships. It's about having joy in all parts of your life. Okay, so sign up now. Go to your into the newsletter and you can sign up from there. Okay, and Sandy, I'm gonna spring this on her again. Tell us about tell us about our location. She's the one that's been over there this week and she knows what's going on. So tell us what's going on. And oh, by the way, if you did not use the newsletter to get in today, please do take the time to go back and look at the newsletter. We have a video of the space, and each week we're going to be posting pictures or video or both of what progress we're making. We thought we would get in by October 3rd, but the city had other ideas, and so did the landlord. They have slowed us down, as Jennifer's earlier song said, but at the same time, it's all right in right divine order and harmony, and everything's working out well. So, Sandy, tell us about it.
Well, the good news is they have cleared out almost everything. They repaired the carpet. And I was over there early yesterday morning and met Oscar, who is our painter. And I even met Jimmy, his boss, is very, very nice gentleman. And away we went. I had the paint in my car. Reverend Sandra and I met last Tuesday and got the paint done. And and he called me last night, and he'll be done by tomorrow with the painting. So I'll be over there and I will take some more videos for us and some more photographs for y'all to see what we've done so far to keep y'all up to date. Reverend Sandra's walls for her office are due the 1st of October. I got an email from the shipper. So she's going to have her office set up, well, the walls at least. And so things are coming along very, very well. Oscar's a very, very nice, very thorough painter. He's very tidy and organized, which I enjoyed, and a very, very nice man. So things are progressing. We're excited. We have obviously passed inspection, and the landlord is taking care of things for us. And I've been over there a lot, so I know that space pretty intimately by now. So I'm watching every little nook and cranny for us. So anyway, I will update you when I go over this week. I'll post a video and pictures and whatever else that we need. I ordered fabric, and I've received the fabric. And so I took a picture sitting on one of my dining room chairs of fabric we're going to use to set the color tones for the whole space. So you get an idea and little samples of our paint colors. It's hard to see, I know, but at least y'all will get an idea. And then this week, we'll have the walls the right color and the draperies. We have draperies in there that we're going to have reinstalled. I'm having them reinstalled in a different way. So you'll get to see more. Okay. So as I said, as we go, good news abounds.
Okay, thanks. And so what we need is your assistance because we have the money to pay for this space, but and we have a little bit of money to to do some furnishings, but we really need the donations to make it comfortable. Okay, so we have been donated the chairs, and we have a podium, and we are paying for the platform. And after that, oh well.
Reverend
Okay, all
Sandra,
right.
would you like for me to show the walkthrough video?
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
Okay, one second.
So that's if when you first come in through the doors, it's double doors with glass. And those are chairs, by the way, all piled up there.
Mhm.
There's 2 bathrooms over there, and that's a kitchen. And there's your back to the front door.
Let me just kind of pause a second, and I'm trying to get it to the point. The space where we're going to set up our area for speaking is going to be, right between the curtains in the back and so this area right here is where we're putting the stage, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So to
And
give
keep
everybody
going around where the office is going to be.
Sure. So the office will be in this back corner. Portable walls are going to be put up. So, and then
And we're going to put portable walls in front of the bathrooms too. So
right, those 2 gray doors are bathrooms, and then the kitchen area is back behind that little space right there, just to give everybody like a little breakdown.
Okay. So it's a nice large room, but that's a couple thousand square feet, right, Sandy? If I remember. Yeah. So it's a good sized room, and we have plenty of room to spread out so that we can be in a safe environment also. So
The room is actually 45 feet long and 37 feet deep. And the ceilings are 14 and a half feet high. So there's so much volume in the room. It's a wonderful feel. It's very open. And the clerestory windows that you see as you just start into the room on the left there, where my video is not, it would not be like Marsha would do, but those windows that you see are like stained glass windows up there. And it's interesting because in my vision that when we were all working on the room, I saw stained glass windows. I didn't know they were there until I started moving all the draperies and to measure the windows, and I saw them. I was so excited, y'all. I mean, they're really pretty. And so we're going to expose those. So you'll get to see all those pretty windows, and they truly are stained glass. So I'm excited about that.
all right, so that's a little peek, and next week we'll have another one. In the meantime, go on the website or on your email and sign up for Full Spectrum Wealth, which we're going to start in October. And but you need to sign up early because we have to have your materials mailed to you. Okay. All right, that's our service for today, and thank you so much for being here, Jennifer. Really appreciate it. And Cynthia, much love to you and your husband. And we're knowing the truth about him. And Marty, you are already whole. We know that. So just go through the experience. All right, the video. Keep something in mind that sometimes we get down and we have to do what? Rise up. Which actually that was the topic today. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh goodness. Yes. Go finish your thing.
Dorothea, you're not sharing your
You're
sound.
not- yeah, you don't have that sound.
Just filled with this. And just before we do this, again, we did this for Orlando, but it's for the victims, for the families, and for all of you. Everyone has their issues, from struggling to cancer, to depression, to whatever ailments, mental or physical that we deal with, or emotional. So, my prayer for this song is that it's just filled with a spirit that just helps to heal and to encourage and to inspire. And that we do that for others. So hopefully, as we lift our voices or our hearts right now, we can do that for other people, for each other in this room, and for those in Orlando. You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you. Silences ain't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying. Oh, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move. We can move mountains. Yes, we can. That we have each other, and for that we have each other. Yeah, we will rise, and we'll rise. I'll rise like the day. I'll rise in spite of the ache. Oh, I will rise. I will rise 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up. I like the waves. We'll rise up in spite of the ache. love now. Oh, spread a little hope and love now. Encourage them to rise up now. Spread a little hope and love now.
And where do we get the energy, the power to rise up? From our DNA within. Yes. Thank you all for being here today. I love you all. I appreciate you all. And I am grateful for you taking the time to be present with us. So our closing video. Be well, everybody.
Our closing affirmation: we go forth today. Reverend Sandra?
We go forth today knowing that we are God's blessing in the world. Only good goes from us, and therefore only good can come to us. And so it is. Be blessed, everybody. All right, Ajika, take care.